Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
So we're going to be at some Solar Bears games coming up on December 8th and 9th.
I like your get-to-work attitude.
I believe December 9th, Daniel's going to be at that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Teddy bear toss.
Teddy bear toss.
I will be tossing myself onto the ice as dressed as a teddy bear. That'd be funny, right?
That would be good.
And then me and Sam are going to be at December 8th, a Solar Bear game. That's on Friday.
Question, why would you plug the 9th before the 8th?
He's a crazy person.
Because I remembered the teddy bear toss, and then I was going back to the 8th to talk about
a question.
I think we're doing a little pregame tailgate with Mo.
We should figure that out.
Yeah.
We're still trying to work on that. So
it's
we'll
loose.
let you know.
It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun and loose. But yeah, we might do a little tailgate on the 8th, and I will be at the Teddy Bear Toss on the 9th. If you've never been to a Solar Bears game, best ticket in town, in my opinion.
Yeah, Tom and Dan section 118. You can get your tickets at tomandan.com. Straight through that link.
It's awesome.
All right, so it was the Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah. Get to work. Let's talk about it. What did we do?
Yeah. What did you guys do?
Let's start with Sam, because I feel like you had basically said before you went off on Thanksgiving vacation that the three of us have some of the most strange, non-traditional, I would say even strange.
You know, like none of us, I guess, I had dinner with my mom and sister and niece.
It was very nice of you to do that, because normally you don't sit down to break bread with them.
Well, it was a camping, so we were eating on a picnic table in the middle of Croom Forest.
What was the menu? What was on the menu?
Well, it was leftover Thanksgiving dinner that Crystal cooked the day before for her brother and sister-in-law.
Nice.
So that was on Wednesday. But, so like some stuffing, some turkey and ham, but it was all just in Tupperware that she reheated in the camper.
Why are you diminishing it? It sounds lovely.
But it wasn't the traditional, huge family get-together at the house.
Well, it's impossiable for me to have that. There's no huge family. Everybody's dead.
Yeah, well, Andrea's mom and dad.
Out of town.
So it's just you guys.
Yeah, you know what's funny? And I'll say this here. Hopefully it doesn't get me into trouble. But that was a concept that I always, because you know how sensitive I am, I'm just going to start making fun of myself. I always, because Thanksgiving was the type of holiday to me where you definitely hit both families. You did, maybe even more so than Christmas. For whatever reason, Thanksgiving is my quintessential see the families be together holiday. And when she joined my family, and we joined our families together, rather, they kind of do their own thing. Like the grandparents, Maisie's grandparents, Andrea's dad goes and does his thing, and then her mom goes and does her thing. And it hurts my feelings a little bit because I don't have a lot of people, and I kind of think it would be fun to get them all together. But they divorce. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's not in the cards.
Well, they already have their tradition.
Sure.
So it's like they're not going to, all of a sudden
No, I don't expect them to.
Another tradition.
No. I get it. I'm just saying that, where I came from, it was I think it was the big holiday, Thanksgiving.
But I think you lucked out because most people,
I
think when they host a huge family get together,
pain in the ass.
My God, if you and then just it's so much work, and then it's
somebody's gonna fight.
Yeah,
kids are running around.
Undoubtedly,
it's chaos.
I mean, if you had a Thanksgiving, I feel like if you had a Thanksgiving that didn't have a fight, unicorn.
I think a lot of the stereotypical arguing over politics and
stuff.
No,
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about regular disagreeing with your family.
Yeah.
It's normally not politics because I think most people know that that's a stereotype. It's an outlier. Yes, it does happen, but not as often as I think we think. But getting mad about, I don't know, the way you snub somebody or an heirloom that you took that was supposed to go to the sister. I don't know. That stuff happens all the time.
So, Sam, you went to Disney Springs, right?
I did, yeah. Me, my husband, and a couple of our friends.
How was that?
It was fine.
Was it packed?
We went midday, and it wasn't that bad when we first got there. But as the day went on, I guess more and more people started coming out, I guess, to grab Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know. But because it wasn't exactly dinner hour.
BD Imran in our Twitch chat room says, I spray vomited in my mother-in-law's bathroom. You should call the show. That's the type of stuff we're fishing for.
What were you
today.
drinking, buddy?
Yeah, call in and share, and we'll make you feel better about that.
There is a different level of Thanksgiving drunk that people get, especially because they're hanging out with their family and they start early. Like, I feel like,
It is a day drink. There's football
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Like
people are
man, day
drinking
drink. I get up
at 11:30 in the morning.
That's too late. That's too
You
late.
started too late.
That's too late. You got to
mean,
get up. I mean, when I'm putting the cinnamon rolls, I'm breaking out the Grands cinnamon roll, the roll that, when you open it, you put the spoon in it.
Always scared me.
You put those things in there, and then as you're sliding that little round pan in there and then putting the icing on the top of the stove to melt it a little bit, you got an ice cold Bud Light. And you slam that one just to get your, and then you take a big toot, maybe a mushroom or 5.
Oh, my God.
And you just get blasted the whole day. You don't cook sober, right?
No, yeah. I
did
imagine
this
most people
year.
are drinking it
I
all
did
day
this year.
long.
I didn't have any booze, not one drop, the entire Thanksgiving. But I will say that it was not fun. It's way more fun to just get just plastered because you have an excuse. Plus,
yeah, normally we go like bar hopping and stuff, and we did a little bit of that, but I wasn't drinking, so here I am getting my non-alcoholic spritzer or whatever the hell.
I do like why it's a waste of money. I
only got one of those. I was
and
like,
then nobody
forget
talks
it.
to you because you're out there doing your thing. You're tending, or if you're like me, you're basting. You're putting the butter on there, making sure the smoker's going well. Nobody's going to talk to you. So you drink 12 beers.
Yeah.
You're 12 deep by 1 p.m. and then you're setting the table, and then you're having to shuffle your feet to get to this sit down right.
I don't know how you start drinking so early and are
so
able
early.
to still be awake
I feel
at
like
5.
the only time I can do that is on the cruises.
Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
stop. You stop around like 2, 3, and then
Take
you're
a nap.
You're like,
You reset.
and then you just kind of
Eat a little bit of food.
You're in a daze, and maybe you nod off.
You got to get a second wind.
Yeah,
though.
and then you kind of come back to life,
Yeah.
and then you go through the hangover. The key is to go through the hangover before you go to bed.
Yeah. Go through all the stages, like feeling like garbage or a headache, and then back,
Don't do that.
hydrated again, then go to bed.
Yeah, then go to bed. Because then you'll wake up the next day, you'll be okay. And look, I know this is a horrible thing to try and instruct people on how to do it, but I feel like
if you're going to do it, do
I
it
feel
right.
like if you start at 8 a.m.
We're talking to everybody who's doing it now.
Yeah, if you start at 8 a.m. and you end at 3 and you keep it between 12 to 15, you'll be fine.
So Sam,
Yeah.
Did you use this weekend to start setting up a Christmas tree?
Oh,
Everybody
that's
does that.
been done.
Oh yeah.
What are you
that's
talking
right.
about,
yeah.
sir? That was
Christmas
November 1st.
tree.
November
Are you
1st.
insane? I've got 4 Christmas trees. I got one outside, I got 2 inside,
yeah,
and I
me
got
too.
a new one I just put that's remote controlled in Maisie's room.
Oh.
Maisie got her own with a remote control.
We just got those fancy permanent outside lights, so you can change them for every season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want those. Nice.
They were on sale.
Do they you just leave them on, right?
Yeah.
And so what are
They have different themes. You can all on an app on your phone.
Is it a string of LED lights?
Yeah, basically.
And do you just tape them to your
Well, don't tape
soffit
them.
or-
Oh my
Yeah,
God, tape them. This is what's wrong with you. You
Well,
tape them to the soffit.
it comes with an adhesive on it.
double side. That's what
Oh,
I meant.
no. Use a zip tie like a good patriot.
They give you clips too if you need to
use
reinforce.
the clips.
And then
Use whatever takes the longer amount of time.
Yeah.
So, because I've been thinking about this, and I was like, I would imagine that there are companies right now that are like professionally installing these type of lights into, especially like newly built houses and stuff, where you can just every single year for any holiday.
Valentine's
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah,
I'll make
right.
my house
100%.
red.
St. Patrick's Day is
That's
great.
my
You
plan.
just light up
They
your
have
house.
They already
Yeah.
have a New Year's Day one
She's
that's already
fun.
programmed.
Yeah.
You would forget. You'd be running red all year long. You look like the
No, no.
anger house.
Well, it's easy with your app, right?
Yeah.
And then, so, how many lights are they just around the roof line, or are they, all around
you
the
need some
house?
specifics here. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's get down to brass
We're
tacks.
all the way around.
Okay, just the roof line.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Trav is thinking about getting more for like the peaks.
The pigs.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah.
You can add. Can you add 2? You can daisy chain them together.
I got to tell you,
So
that's
you,
way
do you
easier.
feel bad that maybe Sam is outdone the
Well,
the holiday king?
I'm thinking, because we were talking on the way back when we were trailering this RV back yesterday. Which, by the way, I mean,
Are you
my
done
God,
with it, or what?
Why didn't you just stay in the Chinook?
Well, out there
Yeah,
because
you should have just asked the favor of the Croom compound, and you know.
Well, I like the boys experiencing the campground, the public campground, because there's other kids. There's like a bunch of other kids at the campground. They play manhunt in the
How
forest.
they gonna learn the N-word if they don't go to the standard campground?
That happened. That happened this year too.
Oh, yeah.
I think I
You always get a
pitched about
loudmouth
last year.
cursing kid. The cursing kid teaches them racism, shows them a Playboy.
Well, it wasn't racist as much. It was the South Florida kids. Well, there's a lot of South Florida kids that are now at the Croom campground.
Oh, this sounds
I can tell.
awfully
Taking over Croom, huh?
This sounds adjacent.
No, I know when I say South Florida, I grew up in South Florida, so I could tell by the accent.
So I can say the word.
Yeah.
Then,
You're a South Florida kid.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, if you grew up in Miami, you have there's certain words that you say that that I could tell you're from Miami, and you have like this Miami accent. I don't know. Anyway, so there's a bunch of teens, Miami teens, in the forest.
Do they all have the broccoli hair?
And they were saying the N-word, but it was the N-word,
broccoli-haired N-word saying,
as if you were going to, like, you know, the
soft A,
the bro, the A at the end,
soft A, not the hard R,
like as a you know, another word for bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's and
like
they were all
dog.
Yeah, like dog, like that kind of N-word, not the ER
And they were
racist.
White teens?
Little
Miami.
What does that mean?
Hybrid. It means
I don't know.
A plug-in hybrid.
They were out in the dark, so I can't tell.
Wow.
But,
Can't see them in the dark.
That's
Wow.
real.
But-
All I
Why
can
would
see
you
were
say
their
that?
teeth.
No.
All I can see were their teeth.
I know.
Why would you say that?
No. I'm saying that
Happy Thanksgiving,
I can't
everybody.
tell what
But you can
ethnicity
profile.
they
You
were.
can hear and profile.
But they were Spanish.
Okay.
Okay,
So
there you
and then we had to have a talk about what the N-word was, which was super confusing.
Why were the boys winging it around pretty good?
No, it's just they didn't. We heard them say it. Like I was screaming and I'm like,
Here's
"Hey,
where-
there are kids in here!" You know, because we were.
Here's where you're going to get into some trouble. Is because you've already told the boys every once in a while they can say bad words. They're going to want to say that word.
No. We said that was you can never ever say
that's
this.
That's a different word.
That no matter what age you are.
And then Max slowly
you can't
raised
say
his
it.
hand. He said, "What if I'm singing a song?"
Say, what if I'm breakdancing?
Well,
dog?
that's where it became confusing because we were like, that's the worst. You know, you cannot say that word ever.
But
then,
I like nothing but a G thing.
But then Crystal was like, this, you know, like this is worse than the F word. It's the worst ever. Never.
But what
say
about
it.
Morgan Wallen? He says it.
And then I was like, well, and I'm like, those kids, and they're like, oh my God, those kids were they were the worst. They were saying, but I'm like, well, they're not saying it as if it's hard to explain.
Yeah, it is hard to explain.
They're
using a variation of a horrible word to call each other bro.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Get out of here.
And I was just like, never say it. Just never say it.
It is easier. Right? It's just easier. You don't need
Just
to say
forget that you heard it.
You don't need to ever say that.
Yeah. You'll figure it out later on.
Yes.
I
agree with it. It's too hard to say. What are they doing? They're using a variation of a horrible word that is oppressive to call each other like an endearing, like love word.
But so going back to, they wouldn't get that if we stayed in another place. I like them being exposed to that.
But then you're screaming at them to not get exposed at it?
No.
There are kids here?
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to.
And then later in life, when they're interviewed, like, what made you a good person? Well, there was this one time I was at a campground, and there were these Spanish kids yelling the N-word, and my dad yelled at me and said not to say the N-word, and then he said, just forget you ever heard that word, and that's what made me a success.
And, you know, because I like them being exposed to different things, because they're usually in this little bubble in Castleberry where they go to school. There's nothing, you know.
I'm guessing that since that
probably
word...
get a little bit in Castleberry.
I was going to say, in Castleberry, I feel like someone's using the N-word.
I'm guessing since that word was being wung around that there were not that many black people at the campground.
No.
Okay.
It's you know,
more of a Spanish and white guy thing.
Yeah, it must be. I don't know. I've seen black people there before, but you know, riding around
Spanish people like
four-wheelers.
four-wheelers. So does it go? If you were gonna, he goes white people, Spanish people, black people. That's the order of liking four-wheelers.
I think Spanish people, white people like four-wheelers the same.
There is
a tie.
There is one of my neighbors. He's like 4 or 5 houses down. He works on four-wheelers. So every day they're like up and down the streets testing out four-wheelers.
I wonder if Spanish people have edged us out on four-wheelers. I kind of feel like I see more Spanish people riding four-whelers.
I will say, Spanish people like cooler-looking four-wheelers.
Yeah, you guys got
it's all
the
about the
gringo.
look.
You guys got the gringo. You got the like the rifle holder.
The nerdo
White people
four-wheeler.
in the big brick S-house, square with racks on the front,
like a
deer.
Sprinter van.
Yeah, white people like deer four-wheelers. Spanish people, they like racing four-wheelers.
Yeah, fun four-wheelers.
Yeah.
Tiny
like,
tires on them. Their
yeah.
tires look like blender blades. Oh, there's blender
Tiny
blades.
two-stroke.
Loud as hell.
Yeah. There's a lot of gold and razzle-dazzle.
Yeah, I love the showmanship of a good Spanish four-wheeler.
Also, Spanish people have more fun camping. I will say that.
Better music.
White people are
Coquito.
boring.
Yeah. Keep your music down.
I'm not joking.
I'm gonna go inside and read Apple News.
There was a full-blown like
Party. It's a fiesta,
with
dude.
a DJ,
Yeah.
like someone
Yes.
on a PA.
Yes. Why
Like,
do you think I've switched to Spanish grocery stores, dude? Why do you think I go to Bravo?
It's always a party.
I go to Bravo because they have a DJ. I went there yesterday to get my Topo Chico. I drove over there. They got the DJ pumping, the hot ladies, the big asses.
So they were like, and it was on the other side of the campground.
It's just
and
better.
I like, and they were.
They got those speakers from Costco that light up with the
full-
beat.
Yeah,
I
the
know.
full
Yeah.
light up
Good.
Costco
And they
speaker.
sound pretty
It was
good.
They're not bad. And it lights up to the
And then
beat.
there's some guy like, I
love it.
screaming. I'm like, I'm looking at
You wanted to be a part of it.
And then the boring white
It was
people,
pulling you
like,
in,
it's
yeah.
a grilling, like the low country music.
You're like, your veggie hot dogs are
And then I'm looking over. I'm like, what's going?
dogs.
I'm like, what's going on over there?
Yeah,
I'm like, they're partying over there.
You
Like they're
softly-
dancing. They're
you
dancing at the
softly
campground.
have the Avett brothers here grilling veggie
Yeah.
dogs. There's a big ass over there dropping it like it's hot.
Yeah, like they brought a full-on like smoker that you would have
Yes.
like an
There's a full pig in there.
No, it's the one
they're
on
roasting
wheels.
a full
Yeah.
pig.
It's that one on wheels
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you sink in the ground.
Like
So good.
It took the place of what you could fit a four-wheeler just for their smoker.
Yeah.
And they got the party and the PA.
You should have wandered over.
I wanted
You're
to.
Tom
but
Vann.
I don't think I was
No, you
Invited to the
Yeah,
party.
because they're like, who's this honky? Like,
no,
you know.
no, it's not like that. If there's one thing
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
about any of my Spanish neighbors, they wanted you to come to
Yeah.
their party.
No,
man.
campgrounds are like prisons. They are
Segregated?
But that's natural. They naturally
So
segregate
what
themselves.
part were you? Just the
No,
country gringos?
I'm in the I like the
Yeah.
boring
White
white,
trash.
the white
Yeah,
trash.
white trash.
There's not, no one rich.
Little bit of
there.
George Strait.
Oh.
Little bit of George Strait. Regular old
Yeah.
deer four-wheelers. Brown four wheelers.
No, we're from Miami, so we have the Spanish
Colorful.
cool four-wheeler. We
okay.
got the sport. We don't have the big Polaris hunting
the
four-wheelers there.
grandpas.
We got the racing, but old pieces of junk.
That's okay.
Whoa, almost cursed.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He's feeling it.
yeah. Oh, by the way, it
Did
is
you
a
see any asses? Any big?
No. It's it's not that much of a party.
Bravo is.
But I will
Bravo
say
is a party.
it's embarrassing having old junky four wheelers.
Well, I mean, you could take care of the ones. I mean, they,
I don't
at
wanna
one
buy-
time they were new, right?
Yeah, but 97.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm
You're
still-
taking your
You gotta
old-
upgrade.
You go out there with an old 97?
Oh yeah,
97?
yeah, almost 30 years old.
97?
It's my original four wheeler that my mom bought me when I was.
This guy's out there with a
15.
57 Chevy driving around.
No, I know.
Oh
It's
my
all
God.
old in the 90s. Yeah. It's all rusty.
I'm surprised the plastic hasn't dry rotted. The
no,
thing will fall
no,
apart.
There's new plastic. Remember, my pop gave me that
Confederate flag.
seat,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
got me two, so I never left the flag.
I got you two racist seats.
Anyway, but they still. The problem is, I'm not gonna buy new ones until my sons really, if they want to get it. We just go once a year. So with that, I mean, like it's
Well, why don't you go more?
Look,
so much work.
Okay, I'm going to throw something out there. If I were one of your sons and my dad asked me, would you rather ride this badass new four-wheeler or
Are
would
you okay, man?
or would you rather ride this classic? He's
My
rubbing
bo-
his face.
my
The chat
body's
room is saying that he
destroyed.
dyed his hair because it looks jet black. The chat room says
My body's destroyed. I have to stop doing this to myself.
You drank that moldy cup and now you're freaking out, man.
You all right?
No, it was just a whole weekend of super hard work, and then the rain, and then when I was leaving here on Wednesday, like I was like, I'm getting a cold or something.
Yeah, you were
Oh,
mad.
yeah, you were saying
You're
that.
irritated.
Yeah, and then Crystal had a full blown cold, so we were both had man colds. on this trip the entire time and like loading up. Like,
or you just feel like crap and you loogie
yeah.
and coughing.
It wasn't
and
like we didn't have a fever or anything like that, but it was just like like it's in
it
your
makes you
chest,
feel heavy,
and then you're just like achy,
body aches,
and then you just have this like runny nose, and you're like, ugh, I feel like garbage. You're loading,
Let's go camping.
Your whole loading, your whole
Let's
stuff.
ride.
And it was all rainy all
Oh
weekend.
yeah, raining the whole weekend.
Let's ride four-wheelers with
Yeah.
Spanish people with a cold.
Yeah, and the kids, like, and you always, I'm looking at my sons, and I'm doing it for them because me and Crystal look at each other like we would never do this if it wasn't for the kids.
Do
like,
they
no
ever
way.
ask you though? Do they ever pull you aside, like at the end of the night? And because there are moments that make it worthwhile, where they say things like, "You know what? This is the best Thanksgiving ever," or "I love," like something like that. Like, "This is my favorite thing in the world."
They like it every time I ask them. Now I'm like constantly asking.
No,
like, you're having fun?
not asking them. I'm saying, have they ever?
No, they don't say
Okay.
it.
Unprompted,
Yeah,
They're
it's
like me
got to
then.
be unprompted.
Do
Because
I ever
Maisie will agree
unprompted
with
tell
anything
you
I
guys?
say.
Yeah.
I was like, "Do you like it when I yell at your mom?" She's like, "Yes, I do." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, no, it's I told you guys they're like me, where they're not gonna unprompted tell you anything. Like, you know what, I'm having a great time with you guys. Like,
That's
or like,
me.
Or like, you know
This
what,
is what being friends is all about.
you look good today. Like, those are
Yeah.
nice shoes, or like telling
that's
Sam like,
true,
hey,
yeah.
nice
That's
haircut.
definitely
Or,
me. That's me.
I just sit there, and then if you ask me
Yeah.
like, how you doing? I'm fine.
I'm fine.
The same thing with the
Never
kids.
changing.
They don't want to leave at the end of it, so that tells me that they had fun. But for the most part, I'm just like,
They make new camp friends every year, or
Yeah.
Not really.
Didn't the wizard come
The
out?
wizard came and camped in a tent in the
Oh.
rain. Which
No, thank you.
He's tougher than I am, but he's got Asperger's, so that
Yeah,
makes him
yeah.
tougher.
I mean, sometimes people with Asperger's just sleep in tents in the rain. And you're like, "Why are you doing that?" I have Asperger's. Okay, that's fine.
No,
That's
it's
fair.
like, it makes you tougher.
Good enough an
Yeah.
answer as anything else.
But yeah, so he was fine, but he's got junky four-wheelers too, so they're all breaking down,
God
smoking.
damn.
So tired. And then I'm
You
like,
guys are all like a Heathcliff junkyard
Yeah,
gang
yeah.
out there.
But
The
you know,
old
we
here comes the junkyard gang. I bet the Spanish people, because the Spanish people, if there's one
Oh,
thing
they
I
got
know,
nice
they get nice
chrome
chrome,
Banshees.
and then they smell good.
Yeah,
when they're
yeah.
riding it,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can,
they got, yeah.
cologne on. They drive
Yeah.
past you, there's a woof of
Yeah.
cologne. You guys, the junkyard gangs out
Oh.
here.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you.
They got Fox jerseys on with
Yeah.
chains on the outside
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Banshees
yeah.
with all chrome.
And they got they got Mont Blanc cologne.
Yeah.
They pass you on one of the trails. You smell it. You're like, wow, that smells
Yeah.
great.
Like, you got a Banshee that goes 90 miles an hour. You're like, oh, aren't you just riding down some trails? Like, racing, drag racing it? Anyway.
You wish you had a Banshee.
So, Daniel, I saw that you had a project over the weekend.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
You transformed your balcony. And this is
Yeah.
the balcony you usually sit on there with your tiny pee-pee dog.
Yeah, it's my old man balcony.
Yeah,
It's here, I'll put up some photos so people can see it. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live or at Tom and Dan Live on YouTube. This is what it used to look like. You can see it's like not very nice. It's just old tile that came with the house when the house was built in like 2005.
Yeah.
So
it's a standard 05
outdoor tile with dirty
squares.
ground. Yeah, so I had told Seth that I wanted to do like artificial grass out there, but I can't do like his artificial grass because I'm not spending $15,000 on artificial grass.
Well, he's got his whole front and backyard. I mean,
no.
that's,
I just wanted to do like a little something different out there, and plus we needed new patio furniture because Andrew and I were doing the math. And the patio furniture we had on my balcony was 30-plus years old. It was from my mom and dad. They had it. They bought it at Tropic Casual. We matched the 2 chairs downstairs. They still make it. That's how crazy it is. They still make it. And I matched the 2 chairs, but it's just like it's falling apart. Like the sun is finally Florida won.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
found
30 years, that's a good run.
pretty good.
That's a
Yeah,
good run.
but also like when we went to buy the new chairs, and if you get it from like, is it called Palm? I think it's called Palm Casual.
Palm Casual, yeah.
Yeah, that stuff is expensive, and there's a reason. It'll last you 30 years if you take care of it. Like seriously, like it could have.
Oh yeah.
We could have put a blanket or something over it, and it was still durable. It's just it was the faux wicker, like plastic or fiberglass wicker. And the sun just started to destroy it.
Like outdoor furniture is deceptively expensive.
Yeah.
Where you'll see a outdoor like couch and love seat and a table. You're like, oh, okay, what is that? $2,800.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, so they
Well, it's got to
had-
withstand the elements.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I know, like, this is, it's tends to be a hot button for some people. Like, I don't have a problem and never have had a problem with IKEA because we change the decor of our house pretty regularly. Like, we'll always like go and buy something new, and like, so I don't mind not spending that much money. Well, I didn't want to spend $15,000, but I'll put this picture up. You can see I got these tiles from IKEA that are like, they're like little 12 by 12 inch, little square foot tiles of artificial grass, and they're elevated like on a little platform.
Okay,
It's like a tiny little, looks like a little tile, and they snap together like Legos.
Okay, yeah.
So
I've seen these before. Like I've seen them at IKEA.
yeah, I mean, it's,
Are they for pets or are they
I-
for just like outdoor?
I think they're just for
areas.
outdoor. Like, I thought about it. I'm like, I don't want my dog peeing and doo-dooing on this because that's just unsanitary. But a nice, softer surface out there, something that was like a little more, I don't know, a little more cozier than ugly, tile seemed pretty good. And as soon as we got there, no, IKEA doesn't normally do any sales. They were running a sale. So we added up we had already measured how many we need. So we got these, and you can see in the photos at twitch.tv/TomandDanLive that I started just like cleaning off the entire balcony. And then I started sliding all the tiles in there, and I had some music out there, and I just used a rubber mallet to kind of nail them all in, and that's
That looks great.
how they end up looking. Yeah, it measured out great. It very easy to install. I mean, except for your knees. Being on your knees like that is really hard.
Mhm.
Like my heart goes out to anybody that's like kicking carpet or doing real tile. That's hard work, man. Jeez Louise. I only did a small section.
Oh yeah.
So hard.
Well, anybody who does installation of any type, it's that's an insane amount of hard labor
We did like
that people do.
Yeah, oh, it's so hard. We did like some wood. You can see we did like a little bit of wood, and I did some wooded areas on the side so we could roll like some like my gas grill out there. And then there's a picture of the two new couches we got. We went for like cushy couches so we can actually spend time out there. And then the coolest thing that I did, here's a picture of it, is that I found on Amazon that somewhere in China, they make a microphone stand mount for a TV. And so it's like it just like this microphone stand or this one, it's just like a standard wall TV mount, but it mounts on like a microphone stand.
Huh.
And I was like, I think that would work for my tiny TV I use outside. And it does. So I bought it, sent it to the house, and I clamped it to the microphone stand, cleaned the entire stand off, and the stand's real heavy on the bottom. But then I ran all the cables in the pole, and then I wrapped it up, and then I used zip ties to wrap it. And now there's only one cable coming out of it. It's got a speaker mounted on there and everything. So the whole thing, it's got a Bose speaker, it's got the TV, and it's all in one spot. You can move it around the patio and plug it in, and you've got Spectrum, you've got Xbox, whatever you want,
That's cool.
Yeah.
You can stream Netflix, whatever you want. So I was watching football out on the patio all day yesterday, and it was really cool. Yeah, it worked out. I got a couple plants to put out there, and yeah, all in all, a pretty good project. I'm not sure why I decided to do it on Black Friday, but I got a bug up my butt and did it.
Well, it must be nice to have a relaxing Thanksgiving weekend where you could do some home projects and maybe make your life better, more relaxing.
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
That
Dansby
seems
likes
nice.
it, and he was out there with me, and we're listening to Christmas music, and Maisie helped me. Like she got out there and was like sticking in some of the, I don't know. It's fun. We had a good time.
And then having an outdoor area to like watch TV and hang out in Florida is a must. Like if you can hang out outside, you're doing yourself a disservice.
And my allergies are terrible to the point where I'll sneeze the whole time, but I just love being outside. I'll put up with the allergies, the sniffing, the snorting, whatever else, just to be outside. I love being outside. You're right. Just sitting outside, watching football with my dog, sunshine. Oh my God, it's the best.
so
Sorry, I almost threw up there.
Are you both dying on me?
No. Just, getting back in the swing of things is hard.
So we pull up this RV to the actual campsite, and there was a little bit of a mishap where Crystal set her alarm to book the campsite last year because you got to book them like a year in advance because Thanksgiving weekend's a popular weekend for people to go to
Is
that
this
campsite.
like Fiery Furnace?
And kind of like that, where not necessarily her fault because I'm not doing it. So how much blame can I
That's true.
put on Crystal? Where
That's
it's like,
true.
well, I didn't do it.
Mhm.
But anyway, so she didn't do it on the exact time she used to do it, and waited about a couple weeks. So the only campsites left were not necessarily designed for RVs and more of tent camping.
Gotcha.
So when we pulled up, the actual site was on like a hill, right? And so normally,
Is this the picture you sent me? Should
yeah.
I get that ready?
Yeah. So
Okay.
normally, with RVs, there's like a square with gravel that's level. So you pull your RV on
Yeah,
the
there's a
square
pad.
and a pad, or
Yeah.
and so that way when you put the stabilizing legs down and everything, it's level, right? So they do have stabilizing legs, and you can adjust the height of the front, jack, so that it is level, but it's on a hill is suboptimal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
So we get there, and it's, by the way, we had to load this thing early and Thanksgiving morning and load all the four-wheelers, load all the gear.
It's a lot of loading.
Yeah, a lot of loading, and then drive over there hour and a half to Brooksville.
Then unload.
Then set up camp and unload everything,
Yeah,
right?
it takes a while.
So by the time we get over there, it's like 3:30. We're already tired, and now we're trying to. I gotta get
And
it to.
surely you're not hungover from the night before.
Yeah.
Did you party the night before?
No, actually,
Oh.
I didn't because we were sick.
No, there you go. Yeah,
But
yeah.
if it wasn't,
If I wasn't for sure.
Oh, man.
You
Which-
hit it hard.
Which sometimes it's better to be hungover because you don't care less.
When I'm
whatever.
hungover, I'm just like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I'll look up at God. I'm like, what else can you throw at me, you bastard?
It's the Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to be hungover because you're like, kill me.
Yeah, I don't even care anymore.
who cares what happens?
So being sober and sick is worse.
Sober
Anyway,
and sick.
Yeah.
So
I like being drunk sick.
So we pull up on this hill, and we're trying to Crystal telling me no, you're doing it wrong. So
well, that's always said.
we're
That's
back
not
and forth,
new.
back and forth. And we finally get this thing set up, and I have to lift it up so high.
Do you want me to put
I'll
the
show
picture?
you the picture.
Okay, here's the picture.
So Sam, this is not supposed to be like this. So if you look at the front, like the tongue where you pull the trailer of the RV is supposed
it's maxed
to be
out.
Like you can see my truck, it's taller than the bed
Yeah.
of my truck.
Yeah.
Because I have
Was
to.
it shaking side to side?
Oh yeah.
Was it like a wobbly stilt house?
I had to scream at the kids. I was like, don't go anywhere near this. It can fall down
At
and
any
kill
time.
you.
And roll down the hill,
You're like, yeah.
killing other campsites.
And we're also if you can't really see from this picture, but the hills is grades down towards my truck, so it's also unleveled the other way. So it's
What are you in a? You just in a wave?
So,
Like in a-
and by the way-
in a trough.
this is something Crystal cannot ignore. right. So I can get in there and be like, screw it, whatever.
Good
it's like-
enough.
But Crystal, every time she gets in there,
Well, was her head
like,
downward? Like, was she passing out
No.
as she was sleeping because you guys were sleeping with your feet in the air?
no, we had to sleep. Yeah, we had to sleep opposite.
No,
We-
dude.
You had a
like-
weight shift, right?
Yeah,
No,
we
dude.
had to sleep with our head at
No.
the opposite where our feet
Four-wheelers
would
aren't
be.
Four-wheelers aren't that good. Just go home. You gotta go home.
And because
No.
we were sleeping,
No.
I was holding my feet against the edge of the camper.
You're sleeping like a bat. Like
What the
you're
hell?
hanging, like you're hanging upside down.
And
You're
then-
getting lightheaded as you sleep because you're fully upside down. It's like sleeping on the gravitron.
And then Crystal was sleeping on the dining room table.
Oh.
But it folds down into a bed, but
No.
because every time she got in there, she was like, "I'm gonna throw up." She was like,
I have vertigo. I would be the same way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to do this.
every
I'm
time-
going home.
like,
I'm going home.
She couldn't sit inside there. She couldn't eat inside there.
That's like
She-
sitting in a fun house.
Like,
I don't want to sit inside a fun house. It's like Willy
Yeah,
Wonka's house.
and she can't ignore everything.
No.
She's hyper focused on the fact that it's not level. And then
Either fix it or go home.
so then the next day, I was trying to fix the scratch. I'll tell you on the BDM show.
scratch.
The
yeah.
scratch.
I scratched the whole side with the stop sign. I knocked over.
Oh my god! You gonna talk about that on the
You
video?
gotta
Yeah,
stop,
on the
man.
BDM show.
The
'Cause I
old
told-
stop sign
Because
scratch.
I told the guy. it
Because
was-
normally that happens all the time. If you ask anybody with an RV, they're always just whacking stop signs like crazy.
Because I lied to the owner. I told him it was some bushes.
Oh, yeah,
it was,
you did.
It was a metal stuff.
Wow, was red bushes, huh? There's red paint all down the side.
And but anyway, so the whole time Crystal was sick and vertigo every time she's got into the camper.
Yeah, when you have a cold,
miserable.
when you have an extreme cold, go into the fun house and sit and
throw off your equilibrium.
Sit in the nightmare.
While you're already nauseous.
And as I was like jacking the front all the way up to eye level, you know, like, and then adding wood pieces, like I kept.
How high were you gonna take it? I mean,
where'd you get these wood pieces?
Well, we found a pallet.
You broke up somebody's pallet?
No, it was over by the dumpster, and then we pulled it out, and then I started breaking.
You guys are trash.
It was the only
you
wood
dug out trash from a dumpster
there was no
to level out your RV on a hill.
I used every piece of wood I could find, and then there was no other. I couldn't use sticks. I needed flat wood. Anyway. Once I got it to, I was like, this is as good as we're gonna get it.
God damn.
Well,
did you fall out of the thing getting out?
Well, as it was
it shaking like all over the place?
Well, it wasn't sturdy.
You gotta walk carefully.
Yeah, did you drop down any? I see 2 stabilizers down. Were the ones in the back down?
No, yeah, the ones, but they were all the way, like, I only had to put those down. No, I just put those down 2 inches because the back was like touching the ground. Like the front
you
was
should have
6
jacked the
foot
back
high.
up.
No,
Oh
you
my
couldn't.
God.
I had to be level. So the back was on the ground and the front was sticking off the front of the hill. And then
I would have never got in that thing.
Sam, what I imagine, like I do, like I've only been, I've towed RVs probably 7 or 8 times now in my entire life. So I'm not a professional any means. And like I've done it enough where I'm familiar with them now, but I don't own one. We always rent, right? So I don't know if this is like really frowned upon or this is insanely dangerous.
I wouldn't say it's really frowned upon, but I mean I don't think you're ever supposed to have especially the front. You're not supposed to have it jacked to max and then have 7 pieces of wood underneath it.
Yeah. It's on a
I've never
pyramid
done
of
that.
wood.
Like
going from big to small.
It's like you were just doing it because it's what you're supposed to do. Like I don't think it's doing anything.
Well, no, what I always think of is this: if this does fall down in the middle,
What
of
would
the
happen?
night,
What's the worst case scenario? Would the thing have just started rolling backwards down the hill
Well,
with your whole family in it?
Yeah, like if we're all sleeping in there and all the stabilizer arms bend and this thing break, and then it comes sliding down the hill. And
is it a big enough hill where you guys would just be rocketing?
No, like it stops at another. We crash into another camper.
Roll over a tent and
Oh
kill
my
a
God.
family or
But
something.
when that happens, and
was anybody around you kind of like side-eyeing you? Like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah, like there's people at the gym that are like using the equipment all crazy, and
You're over here jacking this thing up and sliding wood underneath.
and nobody believes that anymore. Like people will see him doing this, and they're like, "Yeah, he's just an influencer doing these goofy videos. He's trying to make it look like he doesn't know what he's doing."
What I have learned is that everybody in the whole campsite is kind of like me, where they don't know what they're doing.
Nobody
either.
knows what they're doing. Yeah, you're right.
But there are some people, the ones that do know what they're doing.
They're not even out there.
Well, no, they got a full drivable one. Like they took all this element out.
Well, they
like
had the right spot too because they got the reservations dead nuts.
Yeah.
You know, like day of.
So there's a lot of other toms out there that and they'll wander up and they'll drink beer and watch you as you're trying to figure it out, and they'll give you your input.
Anybody give you any input?
No,
yeah.
they stay.
They watched from afar because
Was
they
it
knew
that
that
bad?
thing was scary.
It was that bad.
Yeah. So it ended up working. Like nothing, no catastrophe happened.
Well,
but
I'm certain you didn't get any action on this trip because you would have
No.
plummeted off the hill.
You can't bang in the
No.
shaky camper.
and then there's no banging and camping. I've never experienced that because usually it's you and your wife are so exhausted and
mad at each other.
and then mad at the whole thing, and then
Why do you do that?
there's little time to get horny.
Little time to get horny.
No time to get horny when you're angry.
Like everything, because it's just constant where you wake up and then so you wake up hungover, you make yourself some coffee, then you get out and then you're cleaning the grill from the night before, and so it's all then you're cooking breakfast and it's all burnt and
No,
the kids
Andrew won't let me do that. I always have to clean my stuff the night before. I'm not allowed.
And then the raccoons, the raccoon. There's so many raccoons around. They come and they just start. I hear hear them opening up the bags in the middle of the night. I can't sleep. I'm sleeping like a vampire.
You're hanging from your feet.
And then I got so much drunk anxiety.
Ooh, they got Doritos.
And then I hear the
Yeah.
raccoons.
And you don't even care. You're too miserable to even go out there and shoo them away.
Like I hear them opening up
They're
bags.
having fun. They're having fun.
And they're like getting the utensils out and like scattering
Sharpening
everything.
knives.
And then so I'm listening to that all night. And so then when I get up in the morning, everything's scattered. There's like the trash bag is ripped from the bottom and spilled out. So I'm like getting disgusting spaghetti.
And you do it every morning, right? Every morning you clean up the same trash.
Oh yeah. Then it all like somehow, even though it wasn't supposed to rain, like everything's wet in the morning. Everything.
Yeah.
Camping chairs, the tops of everything, it's all wet.
You're painting the picture.
Dusty.
You're painting the picture.
And then
Sounds awesome.
But I think this is making us better. My sons, I think they're getting better.
You look at that. You look at everything. You look at your sea of trash everywhere. And you're like tradition.
yeah. Like,
do you think when your boys grow up and become adults, they're gonna want to keep doing this with you as adults?
Yes. Well, not as
Maybe.
adults, but they'll be indoctrinated to do this with their kids and be miserable.
Yeah.
Too.
It'll be like
The gift I
it's
give them.
misery to nostalgia at that point.
Or will they abandon it?
No, I think you'll
Like, God, we can finally skip this damn camping trip.
you get indoctrinated into it. That's because I did it so when they were
It's
so
not
young.
miserable when you're little, dude. Even if it's miserable, I remember
I'm
was
doing all
in
the work.
char-
They're not doing nothing.
Exactly. I was in charge of certain things, and my dad set up the campsite, and my dad was always yelling and screaming, but I had a great time. Like, I loved it.
This is what I know of when I remember my dad and
I miss
stepdad
it,
coming
Tim.
out here.
I miss it.
And
Yeah, but there was some stuff when you were a kid that your parents made you do that when you got old enough and you didn't have to do it anymore, you were thankful, right?
Yeah, but
You're
this
like,
is
oh God, thank God I don't have to do that anymore.
But this is, I mean, camping and riding four-wheelers is pretty fun for
It's
a
pretty
kid. You know,
fun, yeah.
like
for a kid, sure.
So it's not like I'm.
But as they get older, once they become teens, you think they're still going to want to do it?
Maybe I did when I was a teen. Like I still look forward to going because I was indoctrinated into it, and I think that's the key. I got them doing it so young that they'll, I literally trick their brains.
There's no other
into-
way.
I think they have to.
That's
like
how
it.
I was. I loved it. Like, anytime my dad was like, we're getting the camper ready, I was pumped. And he tricked me. He even tricked me further. I was in charge of sewage. I thought that was cool. Stupid, real stupid.
I'm gonna start making them do some work as they get older. But,
They'll be into it. They'll be into it.
Sam, the problem is that if I tell them to do anything, they're gonna do it wrong, and I have to double the work anyway. So almost
That's
like
true.
getting like they can go.
Well, that
pick,
doesn't teach them anything, though.
I know. But
You just gotta suffer through the double the work
teaching
so
is
that they
hard.
learn. They learn how to do things on their own.
It was the worst part of that project that I did this weekend with Maisie helping is that she helps so horribly. It's bad.
Yeah. It's not help.
It's not help. It's so, but
It's more work
Yeah.
to teach them how to do it.
Yeah, that's what called parenting is.
Yeah.
It's a hard job, guys. It's a hard job.
Parenting's hard. I should have thought about that before I had kids.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You don't have to do it.
No.
That's the
I'm
thing.
not. I'm putting
No,
my
you
foot
don't.
down.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
I'm putting
yeah.
my foot down. I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it either.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
We agree.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
want to learn something? Find somebody who cares. That's what I
what
say.
in the
Here's a
eight-
quarter. Call someone who cares.
In the
Wow.
80s, all it was is keeping your kids alive was all you had to do.
Yeah, the bar-
You didn't have to parent
the
or
bar
teach them how to
is-
do it.
Yeah, but you're
so
back in the
high
80s.
now.
Your parents made you do stuff.
They
You
did-
were having to do things.
But
Your
they
parents weren't doing everything for you.
They
Well,
just-
maybe your mom. I don't know.
They just yelled at you to do it. They didn't teach you how to do it. That's
right.
the thing,
But you would learn.
You would learn, but
yeah, because you don't want to get yelled at.
But
Or
that's
beat, yeah.
but that's our fault
Yeah.
that we're I'm like, oh, you're doing it. I'll just do it.
Get out of here,
Yeah,
baby.
I do that too.
Anyway, all right, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Got some more stories, and we'll talk about some other stuff that happened over the weekend with more corporate time.
That was the longest outro. I was like, how long is he going to go?
Don't know why I did that.
I like it. We're starved of talking. Fat City 209. Yeah, I did. Is that Jay? Jay, I would do, if that is you, we started with pop-up, and then we went from pop-up to tiny. It was my favorite camper. It was a Sunline? Sunline. I think it was called a Sunline. We went from tiny pop-up. Goretzka, where is this? We're in Orlando, Florida. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. We are a talk show and a podcast that's been going on for forever, for way too long. We started this podcast in 2009.
I guess got to make a Kick account, huh?
Yeah. Getting some Kick people in there. Well, glad to see you, Kick people. I didn't even know if we were on there. The features are pretty
You
limited.
got 2 followers. Look at that.
Hey, better than no followers. We're on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. Let me pee too. I missed the entire parade. I like the parade. I missed the whole thing doing my project.
Oh, the Baldwin Park Christmas parade?
No. The
Macy's Thanksgiving parade?
I like to watch it. I'm one of those old men. Okay. All right, buddy. You want to bring us back?
Sure.
Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got our BDM Christmas party coming up in December. All BDMs will be emailed a personal invite with you and a guest.
Yeah.
We're putting it together. I got a meeting with Johnny and Andy at. Oh, whoa. Well, it's at Johnny's. So I didn't tell you the date yet.
Johnny and Andy.
Listen, anyway, it's a long weekend. Anyway, if you're a BDM, look for that invite is coming soon once we get all the details together. So another thing, I sent you a video of my mom on her, and this is that 30-year-old four-wheeler, like my old four-wheeler.
You put her on the old
Do
four-wheeler.
you want me to play it? I thought you wanted this for possibly for the BDM show, but like, do you want me to play this? I got it ready to go.
You could play it for ACT,
Okay.
just because it's not. Anyway, after it rained, the kids wanted to go to do some running through some mud,
Sure.
right?
Yeah,
And
that's the most kid-like thing to want to do, I think.
yeah,
right?
so they're like, let's do some mudding, and so we knew of some like areas where there was mud by the campsite. So
it just happened to be your campsite, right? Like the mud campsite.
Mud site.
We go over there, and the kids are going through one of the areas, and there's a huge water. A big puddle, but like I would say 30 foot in
like a Tank America trench.
yeah.
Okay.
And so the kids are going to a small area. Then my sister decides she's gonna try to go across this.
Well, she is your sister.
Tank America
I mean,
trench. Yeah.
when
yeah,
you're
the
a
van.
man, you outdo the children.
And so she goes and immediately gets stuck, right? Because basically the middle of the four-wheeler, you can't see under the water, but there's grooves on both sides. Made by other four-wheelers, which caused the middle of her four-wheeler basically to become stuck, and where tires on both sides were not touching the ground.
So she's like,
she's teetering on the actual chassis of the four-wheeler or the frame, right? So she's basically can't move. So she needs to be pulled out. So then, so my mom goes over there and like gets into position to pull her out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, at first I was like, should I stop?
Your mom has been doing this longer than you've been
That's
doing
true.
it.
Yeah, but she's also an older lady now.
No, you gotta let her fail.
But she
She's
can't.
earned,
She's
earned
got the
that
power
right.
of sun-kissed behind her.
She's earned that right.
Yeah, but
You stay out of it, young blood.
So I just started videotaping it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Should I help her or should I
I
videotape?
laughed at this video. I only watched the beginning of it, but how many times could this guy say, be careful? Like, oh my God.
Well, because
Careful Carl over here.
Well, you don't understand, and we'll play the video in a second, but
She's your mom.
She's revving this thing 3,000 RPMs, and if it
She's been doing this 50 years.
but if her wheels catch and it rockets her off, like she's
Well, at
you're
least you'll have it on video.
no, but
You'll
she's never
win the
going to be the
$20,000 prize.
No, she's not going to be the same. Like you cannot hurt yourself at that age.
You landed some mud, you're good.
No, like,
She's a tough swamp
Yeah,
lady.
tougher than you. Tougher than you.
No, but you said like
She would have beat EJ swimming.
dude.
Guaranteed. Mama Vann for life.
I'm still recovering from landing on my shoulder from the one wheel back in August. And
You're a P word.
Your mom says you never listen to her, and
I-
I'm team Mama Vann.
Sam, watch this.
Okay, here's
watch
the
this
video.
video. How
All right.
dangerous this looks, and how. Okay, so my sister's in the mud here. So my mom's trying to pull her out.
All right. Come on, Mama. There is a
Listen
tree
to Tom.
right in
Listen
front
to
of
Tom.
her.
Listen to Tom.
Yeah, get it, Mama. She is inching her way out. Look at her. She's rocking that thing.
Yeah. But Sam, if she gets rocketed off this thing and it lands on top of her, it could kill my mom. You understand?
Nah,
no, you
she's
say
fine.
no. Like this
She's
is.
got a helmet on.
Yeah,
The helmet doesn't help you get crushed.
She's been doing this when you were a little gleam in your daddy's eye.
No, yeah, but you don't get better at age trying to pull someone out of the mud on some old rickety four-wheeler that's 30 years old.
Look at her jumping up and down. Still got it. Mama Vann.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, the chat room's yelling, doing it for Dale.
As
Hell yeah. Look at her.
I'm imagining that when she does get rocketed off this thing and land and never the same after this, I have a video for.
Do you still continue the tradition if she does get paralyzed?
Yeah, you have to. You have to go out there and do a memorial ride.
We wheel her out
memorial.
there.
Pull her out in the sled and behind you.
Yeah.
We wheel her out there. Yeah.
You get like
I'll pull her. Yeah. I'll get her on the back.
Yeah,
I'll strap her legs down.
VW bug hood,
Yeah.
and you just set her in it and pull her along.
Like
Or
when
get like a little sidecar.
when professional motocross racers or something, they'll get paralyzed and they'll get on bikes that are modified.
Skiers do this.
Then they'll strap the legs
Yeah.
to the bottom.
Skiers do. There was a skier that
Oh my God, I'm like, you're strapping your legs.
There
to
was
this?
a skier that did he was doing like a double flip, and he paralyzed himself, and then he learned how to ride that little, like it looks like he's a one ice skate. Ski, where it looks like you're a human body ice skate, and he went back to the same place that paralyzed him, and he landed the double flip at paralyzed, as if a big middle finger to the earth to say
Yeah.
take that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also, not something I would do.
No.
but pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, did she get her out?
No, I didn't begin a beginner. Like I got on the
You got
four.
too nervous, didn't you? You put
Well,
the phone down.
Well, yeah.
You're like, get off of there. Let me do this.
Because I'm like this again. I always think of later on when she does get hurt, and then I have the video of it, and then everybody's like,
Why didn't you help her? Yeah.
Why did you
Yeah.
let her do this?
Nah, dude.
And hurt herself because
It's a balancing act. Like with my mom, there were certain things that she would do that it's a balance. You did the right thing. You let her do a little bit of it until it got to the point where you started doing the numbers, and you're like, I'll do it.
And
because you don't want to instantly jump in there and be like, no, I got this, because that's not nice to your mom. She's earned the right to be able to try to do that with her daughter.
Yeah, and riding four-wheeler is fine, and she's more than capable of doing that. But when you start, but we're not using we're using a tie down and two tie downs linked together
with a 30-year-old
a little more dangerous.
Yeah.
A little more dangerous.
We're doing stuff that's not supposed to be done. And,
That's the Vann way.
Yeah.
Just like your RV up on stilts, basically. Yeah.
And so then when someone
it's a half-ass Thanksgiving.
And someone goes back and then analyzes it, they're like, "What? You guys are fools doing this. You were asking for it." Anyway, she's fine though.
I'm proud of her for getting out there and just
where's she sleeping?
Smelling like gas.
She can sleep. She goes back to the hotel with my sister.
Smart.
There's a hotel.
You don't have to hang like a bat at the hotel.
Well, believe me, we did say to ourselves,
no, but the RV.
Hey, there's a hotel.
Do your boys
No.
ever be like, can we stay?
No.
No.
And then Tom goes,
They
how
like-
else
Hotel
would
this
you
night.
learn the N-word if you didn't camp?
Makes you tough.
They like the camping aspect. Again, they don't have to do the work.
They didn't complain
Right.
at all about sleeping upside down or like it feeling weird or not. Because
No.
normally if Mama starts complaining, then,
No.
I've noticed with Maisie, if Mama complains, Maisie complains.
The kids, no, my sons
They
aren't
don't notice
complainers.
anything.
They don't notice it. Yeah. They got my DNA.
Looks great to me.
They're just sleeping with their head down. It doesn't matter to them.
All
They're
the
like,
bloods
whatever.
rush to their head. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Do you make them egg Sammies while they're camping?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Nothing changes.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I still
So they
cook them
don't eat-
breakfast.
yeah, they
What about
don't need to-
nighttime egg Sammy too?
Oh, whatever they want. Sam. If they're hungry, I'll make it. I'll fire the grill up and start cooking it.
In the middle of the night.
So anyway, it overall is good. I got a couple stories for the BDM show. One that
What's
I
it look
probably
like
could
out
have been
there?
arrested. Huh?
Does it look the same?
It
there?
hasn't changed since I've been going.
I guess I wondered
Because
because so many people go out there and so many people seemingly talk about it. I was wondering how they manage keeping it looking, because it looked pretty good. But how do they manage that? Do they have a team of people that that takes care of upkeep out there?
Yeah, there's a bunch of forest rangers, and now the stickers are $75 a piece per bike. So they're bringing in some revenue, which I'm mad because when they started making stickers $50 back in the day, which they originally used to be like $10 when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But they were they told that we're upping the price of stickers so that we could use the revenue to build other state parks that people could ride in.
So you can go to different places.
Yeah. And that I forgot about government trickery.
Yeah. Oh, the old Florida lottery. Yeah, it's going to help education.
Yeah. Where they tell you they're upping the prices and the money's going to go towards something, and then
you deserve that. But it's fair. He's right.
15 years later, you're like, wait a minute. There's nothing.
Everything's more expensive now.
Yeah, no, I know.
Fine.
But
I just wondered if there were more people out there because, with everything else, when you've gone on your travels, you say, too many people. Even Moab, you said, when you were going to Delicate Arch and some of the more, I guess, coveted sites that it was just slammed.
There was actually a little, during COVID, it was more slammed, and it seems like, because everybody's like, oh, camping, outdoors.
That's distanced.
And then, so people got their fill, and then now it seems like that is kind of relaxed a little bit as far as, people are now selling off the stuff they bought for going camping and things like that.
You can get some good prices on four-wheelers, man.
Yeah, and so...
Seminole Power Sports got some I've been looking at.
Again, the amount of hard work keeps a lot of people away from doing this because it's so hard to do that it does
that's why resorts are slammed.
You
You have to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's true.
The easier things are, the more packed they are.
Yeah.
And if it's hard I noticed this when I was in Moab, the really hard hikes, once you got to the top,
Nobody's there.
Yeah, you're like, it's not that, it's pretty empty
that
up here.
out.
We got lost on a mountain because there was nobody up there.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were Sedona.
Yeah. So when anything that's hard, it kind of it kind of levels out the playing field, if that
Nice.
makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway,
well, I'm glad you had a good trip, man.
yeah, it was good. It was
Like,
good.
you only rented one RV, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the same like RVshare thing you always do.
Yeah. It
Are you
seems
telling
a-
us on this show about the
BDM.
stop sign? Oh, on the BDM.
BDM
BDM.
show,
Okay,
yes,
all
because
right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Although what's funny about the RVs is that like every time we rent one for this trip, the person that owns it says like, "Hey, hit me up next time, and you could rent it for me directly."
Right.
So we don't have to pay the
Yeah.
RV share
People
fees
are doing
or
that with
whatever.
Airbnb
Yeah,
now, too. Yeah.
Which I was thinking we should do that for BDMs for our Airbnb, just to give them a discount.
Just
because-
message me. I'll send you the code.
Yeah.
You can go live there for free.
No, just they
Oh.
could save the now you don't get the
Service
insurance
fee,
though
right.
with that's associated with renting it
and,
through.
and we will not get it cleaned.
You gotta clean it yourself. Yeah.
But every time we go to hit up the same person, they're like, don't have it anymore. Like
Yeah.
they never.
Oh,
too much of a headache.
gotcha.
Like it seems like once they get to the point where they're RV sharing it,
Yeah.
that only lasts for 8 months.
It's
and
just
they get
like a
rid of it.
relationship when you have a kid to make the relationship work, and then you're like, no, we're still getting a divorce.
Like because the RV share seems like a good deal because you're like, well, 1 week I think we paid $500 or $600.
The only
for
problem
the
is
weekend.
the RV is trash, so it falls apart.
You're renting it to people that don't have that much experience.
It's a particle board house that
yeah.
you pull behind a car.
And every single thing that you do wrong, like let's say you try to open the refrigerator door without pressing the latch.
Oh, you broke it.
Like you start breaking things by accident because you're not familiar
Oh,
with it.
100% that happened because of what he just said.
No,
100% he broke the
No.
refrigerator latch. 100%,
Yeah.
Sam.
And then you're retracting the awning with bed sheets in it, like,
Yeah.
and you're like, and
Why
you're
isn't
like,
this thing work?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's I'm destroying it.
You're like, oh, the siding.
my God.
And you're like, yeah. You're like, oh, what's
Why
that?
is this slide out knock? Oh, there's
Yeah.
a pillow behind it.
Yeah.
I'm crushing the gear.
Yeah. Because
And by the way, slide outs, if you mess them up one time, you might as well
Yeah.
throw the entire camper down a ravine.
Yeah.
It's ruined.
you're retracting the awning with the bulbs you hung as a
Oh,
breaking them all.
my God. Oh, my
And you're like,
God.
oh, the bulbs,
My
I forgot.
balls, they're smashing. And then the
You
glass,
should not be RVing.
the glass
No,
is
but everybody
cutting
does
the
it,
awning.
Sam.
Oh, my God.
I
Because
don't know that everybody does
because
it.
you're not familiar with it because it's not yours, and
You
because
forget to put a donut and your doo-doo pipe starts spraying straight raw sewage all over your campfire.
it's also like a rental car. Like you're driving around, you're like, "What's that smell?" And you're like, "Oh, the emergency brake is on."
Yeah,
and
who
then you're
cares?
like-
Not mine.
Oh, my God.
World star.
There's a psychology
Yeah.
behind it where
Yeah.
you try to be
actually
respectful.
rent an RV, and as you're driving, you're like, "Who would buy this hunk of trash? I'm gonna destroy this."
Yeah, and then
I think that's how people think.
and
That's terrible.
and then you're forgetting how to tow it, and you're turning
Yeah.
too close. You hit a stop sign.
You
scrape
break
the
a
side.
drawer, you're like,
Yeah.
stupid drawer, not mine.
Yeah. You don't do it on purpose. It's just a bunch of
Yeah.
accidents, and I think then
And it feels good to not. It
Yeah.
feels good to not care a little bit. I think.
and then someone's like sticking their sanitary napkins.
Oh, you
We
want
know
to
who
do it
that
again?
is.
You know.
She's doing it again.
and then it's down there in the pipes, and it gets
Good
stuck
Lord.
in there.
Can't
like,
she use a Nova cup just for like 5
Or just
days?
throw it in the woods.
you know,
like,
and so then I
Put it
think
in a Ziploc.
the
after
bears get it.
after like 5 of those times where people rent them, they just sell it. They're like,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
they sell it, and and it's already
You guys are
broken.
ruining
What do
it
you
for
think-
everybody.
What do you think the average is and there's got to be a number of all RVs purchased, right? The golden number of the average, because it's getting destroyed by the people that are failing camping. How many
Yep.
people get a camper, spend the money, have 5 times in it and sell it? A lot.
Oh,
A
yeah, it's
lot.
The most?
this
The majority?
The majority of people. I can't find
So how
one good
many-
reason why you should own a travel trailer RV because, like, if you had like an area on your property you could store it, then that's different, right?
They still
But-
degrade though, dude.
But people that like you're paying $150 a month to store it, right? So that is, so you're buying it, you're paying the payments, you're paying $150 a month to store it. You're going 3 times a year. And then you get the idea. You're like, all right, I'll RV share it to like
Right.
like
Yeah, this is like
balance
having
it
a
out.
kid.
To balance
this is like
out.
having a kid in the relationship. Like
yeah,
this
the
will
storage
fix it.
fee.
Yeah.
You know, so
It'll pay for itself. I'm back in.
so you start RV share, and
This
you're
is exactly what you thought with the AirTND, by the way.
Yeah.
Didn't quite work out.
No,
Sam,
no.
I'm telling you the truth. So then
And you were gonna do an RV. You were gonna do a BDM RV share.
No. Well, that's before I start really analyzing it and be like, wait a minute, none of this works out. And then, so you RV share it a couple times, and someone's scratching it, they're breaking things
And
here
they're like,
and
I've
there.
had it.
Yeah, then you're like, I'm getting rid of it. Then you sell it to someone, and then they buy it.
It's like
their
the
dream.
monkey's paw. Anytime you sell a camper to
dream,
somebody,
though.
it's like selling them the monkey's paw. It's a
Yeah,
curse.
yeah.
Because you know you're selling them something that they're going to only live in 5 times and then sell it again because it's a monkey paw.
And they're
it's
so
a monkey paw.
and they're so excited, and they have these dreams. They're like, we're gonna be camping every weekend.
It's a particle board coffin.
We're gonna be going to Blue
no,
Springs.
No.
Or we're gonna go on these adventures and family adventures, and then you do it like, and it's
And the bigger they get, it's too big.
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
have a small one to really do it.
and then
Why didn't you have the guy set it up? I thought that used to be part of the RV shares, that the guy would go out there and set it up. I was going to say that
It's
could
all-
at least take the trouble out of you having to go there and try to, like, back it in a weird spot.
No, well, I know the guy would have had the same problem. But he,
Again, I understand that, but it
Yeah.
would have been cool to have somebody else to blame,
You
right?
could-
You'd be like, this idiot.
you could pay for someone to do that, although it's not available because the problem is we have to pack it full of
right.
all the whole weekend stuff.
Yeah, and you're
because-
going far away. That's right.
And so we need to rent one over here in Maitland, Orlando, pack it full of the stuff day of, and then drag it over there because I got my back of the truck has a
Yeah.
4-wheeler in it. So all the camping supplies has to go into the RV.
I saw your wife's,
Oh,
and
God.
I know you love this, but I saw your wife's bucket light made an appearance.
Oh.
No, yeah. She gets so happy every time some other camper
Yeah.
gives her some compliment on the bucket light. She
Yeah.
has to tell me.
It's
she's
a
like,
white
another
bucket with a light
compliment.
inside of it, and you hang it in the trees, and
Yeah.
It's not a lot of light, but it's like a nice soft white light.
By the way, every time we do this, like we use that bucket light once, maybe for 15
I've only
minutes.
seen it once. I've only seen it once with a camper trip.
And every single time, like she brings it out, and then she makes me throw this rope apparatus over a
Yeah,
limb.
it takes hours.
And the limb,
Yeah.
this year, the limb was like 30 feet in the
You
air.
got a fishing weight on the end of it?
No, I had to use an Allen wrench.
Oh my God, that's
like
dangerous.
An Allen wrench tool and wrap the string around it, and then it took me like 12 times.
With
that I
your
was-
bad
that
shoulder.
I
Yeah,
was
this guy's like
throwing-
Batman. He's throwing a batarang up there for the bucket light.
so that the string can go over the limb, and then we could lift it up, and then the bucket could be above.
We have
They
other.
they sell camping lanterns.
No, we have other ladies in the chat room that say bucket lights are great. There is a select group of bucket light people. They love their bucket lights, man.
But it's,
I've never even heard of this
It's
before.
a bucket with a light inside of it. It's a bucket light.
She
And
basically
bucket light people are into their bucket lights.
hot glues a light bulb inside a bucket.
She glues it in?
Well,
I think she bought it, didn't
well,
she?
No, she gets a regular Homer bucket,
But it's white.
Yeah, a white bucket, and then she basically puts. She buys a light bulb, like an LED light bulb, and then she puts it in the top of the bucket. She cuts a hole, whatever. Then she hot glues it so no water gets in.
Yeah.
And then you plug it in, and then it's a bucket
Bucket light.
Yeah, bucket light.
It's trash.
Yeah. And then and she hangs it from
People
the tree.
love 'em.
And
But the people will come over and be like, "Is that a bucket light?" And then she's like, "Why, yes, it is."
But not once are we ever like underneath the.
Are
our
you eating
picnic
your
table.
dinner underneath the
No,
bucket light?
No, we're all stressed out eating by the kids are inside the camper because there's
Too many
mosquitoes,
mosquitoes, yeah.
or they're by the fire with s'mores. Anyway, so tired, so tired.
Are you more tired? Because we were pretty tired after the beer
double
fest.
events, yeah.
We did beer fest. We did sofas and suds.
Yeah.
And then we had arguably one day to recover.
Yeah. Then back to
and then
work.
back to work.
Get
and
to
then
work.
back at it. I mean,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you didn't get any rest. This
No,
is going to
no.
be an important week for you.
No, and then this weekend I'm putting in fly. I committed
What are you doing now?
You can't even open a Topo Chico. How are you going to put in flooring?
I told the wizard I was going to help him put in flooring in his kitchen.
You're a good man.
But
You know
we
there
set
are places
This,
that do this at home flooring.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
no, but
say
he
we
does it
have
all
a
himself.
sponsor.
no, he does it all himself because he's cheap. He buys it on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, so it doesn't match? It's
Yeah,
just a, is
yeah,
it
it's-
Oh my
yeah.
God.
He redid his whole kitchen on Facebook
My God, it
Marketplace.
looks like a patchwork quilt.
Yeah. He doesn't pay anybody to do anything. He buys it all
No.
on Craigslist and then puts it in his
No.
house.
No,
Installs it himself. He's
bunch of trash.
all over his house.
His
there's
whole house is a
saws.
bucket light. His
There-
house is a bucket light.
There's
No.
like everywhere in his house. There's unfinished projects
No.
with saws and
I have friends
sawdust.
like that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Oh, my
And then-
Every bathroom's got something going on in it, and there's tools plugged in.
Yeah,
and set to the side.
And he's got 4 kids, and they're holding the blades, turning them on. And so months ago, I told the wizard, because his whole kitchen is all and he ripped up all the flooring already, so it's just all wood, glue, and the glue has turned black.
Yeah, because it
it's
collects
the
the dirt.
right?
Yeah.
So
That's
it's-
what you get for doing it yourself.
So that's what his kitchen floor is, and then I keep talking every time I'm there. I'm like, fix your floor, and
You
then
got a dirt
and he's screaming, I got too many kids, I can't handle it. And then so then finally I told him, I'm like,
What are you guys doing? Tile?
I'm like,
plank?
December
vinyl?
6th.
What are you doing?
And this was 2 months ago. I agreed. I was like, all right. I
Oh,
looked at my
no.
schedule.
What are you doing?
I was like, after the events, after Croom, I'll help you.
It
December
really
6th.
matters. Are you doing tile? Because that's going to be
That's
a lot.
Wednesday.
That's a lot of work.
No, I'm sorry. It's this weekend. It's
it's this Friday.
Yeah. I mean, so anyway, he got some sort of plank, luxury vinyl plank, whatever.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Oh yeah, here it is in the calendar. Look at
Yeah.
that.
It's not bad.
It's like a
But,
plug
but
and
your
play to
wife
snap
set
it in there.
aside 3 full days for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Friday
Well-
night, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm like, holy
Yeah.
smokes.
And then all his kids are going over to my house, and then me and him are just going to stay at his house
Boys'
and then
day.
work for.
Oh, you guys are gonna get
3
drunk and get nothing done.
Get drunk, watch MMA, bet, gamble.
we won't get drunk, but
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
but it's 3 days of installing wood
Oh.
into his kitchen or whatever.
So again, no sleep this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what will help? The bucket light. If you bring the bucket
yeah.
light. You want to do some voicemails?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We can close out the day with some voicemail messages. We hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. If anything happened that, like the gentleman, I wanted him to call in, the gentleman that spray puked his mother-in-law's bathroom for Thanksgiving. I love stories like that.
Yeah.
Those are the type of stories we really, really like. If anybody would like to call in or leave us a voicemail message, you can do so with our brand new app, or you can...
I like it when a family member starts inquiring about what your kids are learning in school, as if they have ever cared about what school they even go to.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
like, what are they teaching your kids? And as if I know, I'm like, I don't know, like math and English. Like, I don't
The
know.
same
And they're
subjects?
like, I don't know, I heard something different.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Like, what did you hear? I'm like, oh, they're teaching them.
You know.
They should be teaching them a pay.
And then I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, I'm like. Math and English or something. What
Yeah.
the hell
It's like,
do I know?
I'm like, why would you know? You haven't even been to a school in years.
Anyway.
Let's try this one right here.
The only time I peed the bed as a child was a conscious decision because I was sharing it with my cousins who were poros living with us at the time, and they peed the bed all the time.
Oh my God.
It was terrible. I had to sleep in my shame, or lay awake in my shame all night. Yeah.
Oh,
I
they
don't
did
even
it on purpose?
understand
No,
what
it
just
sounded
happened.
like it sounded like what he was saying was that his cousins, a la, I think Home Alone. What's the kid's name that pees the bed?
Oh,
With
I
the
forgot
glasses.
his name. His little
Oh,
brother.
yeah.
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 Mm.
That kid's a creepy kid. He's a Culkin, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, he's a real Culkin. But anyway, so I think that this kid, when his cousins were like in between homes, they came to stay with him, and his cousins slept with him in the same bed.
Yeah.
And it sounds like his cousins had a problem wetting the bed at night, so he made an active decision as retaliation to wet the bed actively, so they would have to lay in it too, which I feel like makes you an insane person.
Yeah.
And that's coming from me. This sounds like something I would do. This sounds like something I would do, but even too crazy for me. Doesn't it
Yeah.
sound like? Be honest.
I'll
that
show
sounds
you.
Like,
You
yeah.
gotta lay in my pee tonight.
It sounds like something I would do to flip
Very
the power.
spiteful, yeah.
To flip the power. It's
Yeah.
petty.
Yeah. But
But
you're
I would
hurting
not
yourself.
do that. Yeah,
though.
you're hurting yourself.
That seems it does seem crazy. Also, I didn't realize that. I thought you realized you wet the bed in the morning,
Right,
and
you were
then you got out of
embarrassed,
it. I didn't think people wet the bed in the middle of the night and then just like powered through.
No.
I don't think most people do.
No. You guys are misunderstanding what he's saying. I believe he would pee the bed and then lay in it because he knew if he jumped out of the bed, like he's like, no, I'm going all the way through with this. I'm going to lay here and make sure they sit in my pee. You know, it's almost like returning to the scene of the crime to make sure that, you know, like, I mean, it happens all the time with murderers.
Yeah.
They always come back to the scene to make sure, like, so, I mean, that's like the least crazy thing he did.
Now, you did say before we went to break that you actually soiled your own pants.
Yeah, I can't tell that story.
Okay.
I have to tell that on the BDM
All
show.
right,
so
we'll
we gotta
save
write
that for the
down.
BDM.
Yeah. My daughter saw it too. It was not-
No,
it
you
was
can't
not-
let her see
It was
it.
not good.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Andrea and I had a conversation where Andrea, a real conversation. Well, I can't even say this.
No.
Just become a BDM. Let's try this one right here.
Hey everyone. My wife and I were driving to Thanksgiving dinner this week, sitting in traffic, listening to your show, and I found myself both terrified, just terrified that my wife was going to hear one of the messages I send in. I send enough in that I hear them sometimes, and she happened to hear one, and she asked me, like, why are you sending a message in to Tom and Dan about the doors at the end of our road? And I had to ask myself, why was I sending a message in to Tom and Dan about the doors at the end of the road? So I was terrified that one of my dumb, long-winded messages were going to make it on the show, and she was going to hear it, and she was going to judge me.
Do you think a lot of our listeners decide they don't want to leave a message because they don't want to hear their own voice?
100%.
Oh yeah.
That sucks because, like, I mean,
Send us an email.
yeah, send us a voicemail. Maybe I should be nicer and not like
Like Manny Wetmouth.
Yeah,
And all the
like-
nicknames we give.
like Manny.
He will never call us
Manny
again.
Wetmouth, that guy with the wettest mouth in all of the land, he's gone.
Gone.
I think we bullied him out of
Yeah.
existence.
Business baby doesn't really leave us much anymore.
Only
every once in a while.
Every once in a while he'll jump in the chat, but he won't talk to us anymore.
Those are the 1%ers, the ones that leave messages and call in and interact with the show. So for the other 99%, we have to keep bullying the 1%.
Okay.
Southern
Because
Kermit, call us back. I miss
Oh, Southern Kermit.
you. I miss him.
Yeah, I used to love Southern Kermit. Let's try this one right here.
Tom, Dan, Sam, BDM Mike. Dan, you don't want to be on Mars with the space dudes in the bar? Having a good time drinking space beers? Little space dilly-dilly? BDM for life. Love you guys.
What's he talking about? Maybe Starfield. Maybe the fact that I'm playing Starfield.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Don't have a lot of context there. Maybe it was something. Cause somebody was saying the pee the pants one and pee the bed was because the BDM 6-year show that just came out. You talked about peeing in suitcases.
Oh,
So maybe
yeah,
something
okay.
in the BDM 6-year with Mars. I have no idea.
You know, the lead singer of the band Ballyhoo. I follow him. Howie Spangler, I think is his name.
Yep.
I follow him on YouTube, and he just quit drinking because I believe he peed in a suitcase after they came back from tour. That seems to be like a thing that people do.
Oh yeah. Well, you get blacked out, and then
But I wonder why
pee
always a
everywhere.
suitcase. It seems like if it's a vessel that holds things, when you're in that mind state,
Yeah.
like a suitcase seems to add up.
Dresser drawer,
Like
trash
something
can.
square. With
My dad
It's
peed
got
in
a
an oven
lid.
once.
That's
yeah.
dangerous.
Anything that
Wasn't
has a,
on, but
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, a lid or a
But
drawer.
our turkey did taste like pee-pee the next day.
Oh my God.
Like I think when you're blacked out and you're half asleep, like anything, because a suitcase kind of looks like a square toilet. It's got like you open it up,
Yeah,
and it's like
it does.
or a drawer. Anything that opens and has
Yeah.
a lid is subject to a blackout. People.
Trash can.
Oh yeah. Although that would be too good, and being in a trash can wouldn't
Outside
be.
trash can's okay. Inside, not good.
Although better than the drawer or your suitcase.
It is.
Until you got to try and pull the bag out and all the pee-pee starts leaking out the bottom.
Yeah, I hate trash bags. All trash bags have little tiny holes in them. They always leak.
Porous.
Every single one of them. I hate trash bags. There's got to be a better way. Let's try this one.
Hey guys, it's DeBerry Joe. I'm listening to the Wednesday Free Show, and you're talking about Tom Green and the avant-garde, whether it's funny or not. I don't know if you've watched Last One Laughing on, I don't remember the streaming service, Google it, but it's great, and he was one of the competitors in it, and he was really funny in that when he didn't have to plan for anything. I don't know if you've seen that comedian competition show. It's all Canadian Canadian comedians. Pardon me. The highlights are kicking in, but yeah. So I'd check that out. I mean, I don't do that avant-garde shit. Like, Rick and Morty sometimes is just a bit much for me, but he is funny, but yeah, what he wants to do is just a little much.
Okay.
What Canadian show is he talking about? Some improv show?
No, I guess it's a Canadian.
It's called Last One Laughing.
Yeah,
it is a reality show. 10 comedians. If you laugh, you lose. Winner takes all. I've never heard of it, but...
No, I've never heard of it either, but I was just like, after I heard the voicemail, I looked it up, and it appears to be a Canadian comedy show with Canadian comedians that are trying to, I guess, not laugh at jokes.
6-part competition series pits 10 of the best comedic talents against each other in a showdown where anything can happen.
What is it, like a game show? Where
sort of reality game show.
Oh, there's a lot of comedians on here that I like. I might check this out.
Who's
Never
in it?
heard of it. It's got Squirrely Dan from Letterkenny. It's got, what's the guy that, I forgot his name. He's got Mae Martin. It's got Tom Green, obviously. Colin from Whose Line Is It Anyways in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Huh.
A lot of Caroline Ray.
A lot of good comedians have come out of Canada, so
There-
surprising.
there are so many shows that it's
Too many
just,
shows.
Yeah.
like good quality shows.
Right. Yeah.
It's just impossible to ever keep up.
The new thing I'm seeing now, and I'm kind of into it, and I didn't think I would be based on the bad taste that I've kind of gotten in my mouth with a lot of like YouTubers and influencers. But I've noticed that a lot of like YouTubers, like, top tier guys, people that I don't necessarily know who they are like now bankrolling their own like movies. And they've been doing this for some time, but now it seems to be very commonplace. We're seeing like some guy who has a channel, and let's say he has 2 million subscribers, which is really good.
Yeah.
But it's not the best, right? Not even close. He's now bankrolling his own series about his misadventures. And they're all like strange versions of sort of like a Mike Busey compound. It's always a mansion with multiple trampolines and a pool.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
all the same. But it's a show, and it's all like uncensored and reckless, and it seems almost like voyeuristic and gritty. So I don't know. I'm kind of into it. I've been watching a few of them, and I'm like, it looks sort of interesting.
Yeah, that's what my son's, or at least Max, gravitates towards. I think Max or Tommy. I forgot which one likes the where it's just a bunch of friends in their mansion doing
Dumb stuff.
ridiculous things with wasting money. Like, let's get as many Orbeez as we can and put them in, or let's fill our entire house with sand.
No, but they're taking it an extra...
and then get some remote control cards and race them around our house in the sand. It was like ridiculous.
But here's the part where it gets a little different than even like a Mr. Beast. Like, for a while now, all three of us have been talking about how the Mr. Beast payoff, you never really get a negative Mr. Beast payoff. Like, even the guy that loses typically ends up walking away with some nice money, right? It's got a good vibe, get you in the feels, whatever you want to call it. In this, though, it's an influencer, but he's got his crew together, and they're burning it down. Like, there are real fights. Like, there are real, like, moments that shouldn't be on camera, it seems like. Because it's not good enough, remember? Like, everything changes, and you're always going to try to want more. So it seems like some of these, like, mid-tier influencers are, like, willing to almost exploit everything they've created in an attempt to get more eyes on what they're doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, they're just creating drama within,
Correct. Just like radio shows have been doing for decades. Well, it's the same thing.
The content, you start running, you're like, well, what do we do? Let's
the
have
patterns
a fight
are
here.
crazy. I mean, you're seeing a lot of the same patterns and everything. But anyway, I'm kind of into it. Like, I didn't think I would be, but I like watching it.
Is it for adults or for kids?
It's more like, I would say like young adults, because
Like
it's
teens?
it's not squeaky clean, but it's not horrible. Like they beep some of the cursing and stuff when people are like fighting. But for the most part, yeah, you are dealing with like a little bit like I'd say teens to early 20s kind of
Alright.
stuff. Yeah, it's interesting because it's like you're doing your own show on YouTube, and it's got sponsors, and it's just as reality TV, but you're doing your own.
Yeah, well, because
crazy.
you have a production crew already, and you have cameramen, so it's like you might as well put them to work, and like it's just another form of content.
I guess what surprised me though is I wasn't open to it. Like I didn't think that they would be open to taking the same structure as like regular traditional television. And maybe that's their own age, or maybe that's their own, problem. Like maybe they're doing that because it's all they know. But it seems like they're emulating reality TV and now presenting it to their YouTube audience. Will it work? I don't know. Maybe the YouTube audience doesn't want that.
The reality TV model kind of molded itself into what it is, and based on doing it for a decade or more, so they found the best way to do it.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like any of the huge production companies that did reality TV, like they learned what was popular, what was not popular, like how to do it the most efficient over a decade.
Oh, did you catch the Black Friday football game at 3 p.m.?
Oh, I was gonna ask you guys about
I
this.
did watch it. Yeah, I watched it.
And
they
couldn't
came
watch
out with
it too
the answer.
early.
They came out with the answer of why.
They did?
They did on NPR. I was listening in the car, and it was absolutely what I think it was Ghost who said that they're trying to capitalize on the college football aspect of it, and they did do the deals before, in the middle, and at the end that you could only activate by watching it there. It was free in a weird way to advertise Prime for everybody. Like, hey, this is what you've been missing if you haven't seen the Prime games. And they basically said they were going to try it at that time because they figured that most people, if they were going to shop, even though it's on the decline, they would have already been finished by then.
And they did it early to avoid competition with the college football game.
100%.
And
everything else, like whatever else you're doing in the mornings. But basically to avoid conflict is what they said.
So yeah, they're not wanting to go against college football makes sense to me. That's a non-disgusting answer that I.
Yeah, I saw you put that on the Facebook page. I started laughing.
But I didn't get to watch it because it was 3, and we were still.
It wasn't really
busy.
anything special. I will say that, and I don't necessarily hate the guy. In fact, I like his new song, but his halftime presentation, Jack Harlow.
Oh yeah,
not good.
It was funny to see the difference between his halftime and Dolly's halftime.
Well, it was just weird. He's like the new rapper guy, white rapper guy.
Okay.
I like his new song. I think it's good, but the performance was.
It was kind of half-assed in it.
Yeah,
and then I don't know if you saw people that were there that were posting their, because like when you watched it on TV, it still kind of looked a little bit bobo, but at least it looked like a performance. But if you were there in the stands, like
the stage was terrible.
It wasn't even really a stage.
Yeah.
And then he's like walking through, but they only have lights on him, and the rest of the arena is dark. And it's like, well, this sucks.
Yeah,
if you're there, you don't get any performance really.
It just kind of proved to me that even though he's popular and even though his songs,
I find him so corny.
Yeah, I get it, but I like that his newest single. I really like.
It's catchy, yeah.
But the problem with it is that I don't think it translates to a performance.
Yeah.
Ever. Like I think picking a rapper might be on brand for the age demographic, of people that watch the NFL the most, but you're not going to get a dynamic performance. Most rappers, and maybe this is a hot take, but I don't think most rappers are good performers. I can't even think of a rapper that's a good performer.
Well, I mean,
it's like your real true skill is you're a linguist, right? The fact that you can turn a phrase, the fact that you use your intelligence to, you're a poet, right? You can be a showman. You can be. I'm not saying it's not possible, but like, why would you choose Jack Harlow? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's just because he's trending right now.
Sure, but you're not going to get. You're also setting yourself and him up for failure. Like somebody should have pulled him aside and said, "This isn't dynamic enough for what we need."
What did they show the performance on TV?
Yeah, the
Okay.
whole thing.
All right.
And that's kind of the new
'Cause
thing.
sometimes they don't.
I think that's kind of what they want to
Well,
do
he's a
for
big
these,
name, so
for these Thanksgiving Day.
And was
you know,
that Thanksgiving or Black Friday?
I think that was Thanksgiving.
yeah,
the
I think those were
performances.
both on
Because
Thanksgiving.
I think
The
both
night
the,
games?
both the Thanksgiving games, they like to give like a halftime performance, and they did Dolly on one of the games, the Dallas game, and then Jack was on the Lions game,
Okay.
which was weird. Why didn't you get Eminem? But maybe Eminem couldn't do it. But I'm just if you're gonna.
Well, he did the Super Bowl. There's a step down. You're doing Thanksgiving. You don't
It
go
is,
backwards.
but it doesn't make any sense to pick Jack Harlow. I mean, who's the most famous white rapper in the world? And you go to Detroit and you put another white rapper there. Again, who didn't overthink this? Somebody should have overthought this.
Well, Eminem's like, I'm not doing Thanksgiving. Just did the Super Bowl.
It was it was just weird. Like the whole and like Sam said that it wasn't good, but Dolly was pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Dolly was. She even came out. I had a feeling that was going to happen. She had come out years ago when they asked her about doing a Super Bowl, and she said she doesn't think she's big enough that she could see herself doing like just a halftime show of like a Dallas Cowboy game, and she called it.
Yeah,
Probably
and
already in the works.
You get trot Dolly Parton out there now and do a Super Bowl. You could
Could've.
a long time
We
ago.
could have
but,
done it.
yeah.
You could do Dolly and Friends, maybe have other people sing her
It would have to
songs
be
with
that.
her out there. But most people seem to have nothing but really nice things to say about Dolly and really bad things to say about Jack Harlow. So.
Well,
It was odd.
You know, the internet.
Right.
it's
Well, the performance again. I'm not even saying this just to be mean. It's just like it was lackluster.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
think that even like getting just
It did not look like they put any effort into
no.
it.
I mean, to me, it'd be like, why not just let Cirque du Soleil do every halftime with something amazing?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm not talking about. Like anything what's popular. You don't need Beyonce. You don't need Teddy Swims. You don't need Jack Harlow. You don't need anybody. You just need pure human amazingness.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
I'd like to see just the third string QB fire a football and knock an apple off someone's head.
Yeah, feeds a string. Feeds a string.
Anything other than some performer I've never heard of half-heartedly rapping.
Yeah, he was half-heartedly. He was doing.
It was
He was.
like-
No, you know what? You would have been mad. He was doing the Logan Paul. He didn't look like he wanted to be there.
Yeah. It's a lazy rapping. There's like I don't know what is this.
Yeah.
Bring out the third string QB and have him see if he can explode a turkey.
Yes.
Like set up a
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
put out a candle. Put a candle on top of a guy's head. See if you can put the candle out with a football.
Put out a whole Thanksgiving dinner and then have
And then yams are 12 points. Turkey's 100 points.
and then have some
Toss the turkey.
you know,
No,
high
you gotta
school.
hit the stuff. It's like shooting gallery.
Bring out some local high school and college QBs
Yeah.
and have them just fire footballs and explode the table. Like
No.
knock the
Bring out the
candles off.
bring out the little person's son from Little Person Big World and have him shoot his trebuchet at an entire table of Thanksgiving treats.
Like there's so many things that I'd
That you
rather
could
see.
do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would even, here's a hot take. I would even, like, I know that this isn't popular anymore and they're thinking about getting rid of them and they already are at some teams, but put the cheerleaders out there and get them doing a dance routine, like a good old, like a, some of us Patriots still like to stand there and watch the ladies dancing around in their go-go booth.
Bring the drunk dad and try to kick a field goal for $1 million or something.
Yes.
Like bring him down and then have like he's
You interview him, he's drunk.
yeah. And then he's never gonna be able to hit it, and then he just kicks.
and he falls down.
He just kicks us.
And everybody boos him. Because you're in Philly.
Yeah. Yeah, because you bring him out, he's wearing a Bills jersey. There's have someone get do the fake engagement, and the lady runs off and says no. There's the tried and true.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. We did it. I'm out of practice. Are we going to lunch?
Yeah.
You want to do the intro for this?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. All right, guys. We will see you guys on the BDM page.